Hey everybody, welcome to another Fwoosh video review. This time we're going to be taking a look at Hasbro's Transformers Generations Legends class Gears and Eclipse 2-pack. Gears is a character I have tons of personal affection for because way back in 1984, Gears was the first Transformer figure I ever owned. And this is actually that original Gears. The original G1 Autobot Gears from 1984, purchased at a store called Toys for Joy in Rensselaer, New York. If you're familiar with that store, please leave a comment because I would love to reminisce. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this new Gears here that Hasbro has just released upon us, and we're going to see what it has to offer and if it lives up to the grumpiest Autobot of them all's reputation. So sit tight, stick with us, and we're going to check this guy out in just a second. And here are Gears and Eclipse in their robot modes, freed from the packaging. And they look okay. I'm going to get Eclipse. Sorry to not sound more enthusiastic about them. I'm going to get Eclipse out of the frame for now. We're just going to focus on Gears. Now, Gears, again, is a repaint of the previously released Swerve from the same line. And, as it were, Swerve and Gears were repaints of one another way back in the G1 days. So, and I happen to have both of those handy here also. Now, unlike the new versions, the older versions, they weren't just repaints. There were a lot of differences between the two. Their feet were different. I mean, Gears was the original figure. He was released first in '84, and Swerve came later. Their torsos are different. Their heads are clearly different. Their legs are different. The only thing that's the same here are the arms and the hood of the truck. Otherwise, they're pretty different figures. Now, the new versions don't quite benefit from that same attention or that same level of retooling, because Swerve was released first in this case, and then Gears came later, a few months later, and he's got a new color deco, a new color palette, and a new head. The thing here, though, is that this mold is very, very clearly supposed to be Swerve as he appears in the IDW More Than Meets the Eye comic. Everything about this is Swerve. This is a fantastic representation of Swerve from that comic. And for a retail level to achieve basically this much personality, this much faithfulness to a comic character was really great to see. So this Swerve was, I mean, it's been one of the best figures that we've gotten out of Hasbro this year. Then we come to Gears, who's just kind of a repaint of this body with a new head. And because the mold is clearly supposed to be Swerve, it's hard to look at this and really see Gears. I mean, I look at the body and all I see is Swerve. And the head, I mean, it's got a new head and, I appreciate the effort, but the head doesn't really look that much like Gears. I look at it and I see brawn. Let's get a close-up on it here, so you can see what I'm talking about. It doesn't suggest Gears to me. It really looks like Brawn. When I picture Brawn's face, Brawn's head in my head, that's what I see. So I've got to wonder if that head was originally intended for a Brawn figure. If this vehicle was supposed to be retooled into Brawn, and it was changed to Gears at the last minute or something. Because I mean, aside from the color, I just don't see Gears. I'm not sure if anything could be done to save it, to make it more like Gears. Like if we, I mean, the artwork on the card was just awesome. I mean, this is Gears. This is the Gears that we know from the Marvel comic and from his few brief appearances in the cartoon. I mean, Gears has such a unique and singular head design that this figure just doesn't capture in any way. And that's kind of disappointing. This is definitely the Gears we want, but this is the one that we got. And it's kind of, I'm having a hard time reconciling that. Again, like I said at the opening, I have a massive amount of affection for this character because he was my first Transformer back in '84. And there was no way I was not going to get this guy. But I just really wish he were a better representation of the character. Because right now all I'm really seeing is a blue and red Swerve with bronze head, which is just really weird. Now, to get this guy transformed, it's pretty simple. It's a lot like the original G1 figure, and of course it is exactly like the Legends Swerve. So we take this piece, and flip that down, already making a good chunk of the truck. His arms fold in, and then his legs do peg together, and they flip around, and pretty much presto, there's Gears. Let's get it in focus here. And it looks okay. I think the truck does a better job of capturing Gears' G1 look than the robot mode. And if we compare it, let me get this transformed real quick. If we compare it to the original G1 Gears, it's not too bad. It doesn't do a bad job. I guess all it needed to do was be a blue pickup truck with these weird red things in the back. I've never really understood what these red things were supposed to be. When I was a kid, I just thought they were some weird kind of jet skis. But good enough, close enough. It's Gears. And then his little buddy Eclipse here, again, is just like Gears. He has a straight repaint of the figure that came with Swerve, which I believe his name's Flanker. Again, straight repaint. It's just a softer blue, and the white is in some different places. Though it seems like he's gotten even fewer paint apps than Flanker did. Like, he doesn't have anything on the interior of his wings, and the outside of his wings aren't that detailed, and he's got fewer paint apps on his body. So it's just simpler. It just feels, this entire set just feels like it was an easy, cheap release for Hasbro to put out. So let's get him transformed. He's got two modes. I almost said mold. He's got two modes. So we can flip that down and flip his wings down, and presto, we have some kind of drone, like space shuttle drone thing. And then let's see here. He's got this thing. I can never get... There we go. He turns into a gun also, so he's some kind of like target master. I believe this whole contraption just kind of comes up and around like this, and it forms a gun. And let's get Gears back in his robot mode here really quick. Zoom out a little bit. To transform him back, we just flip his legs down and around, split them, fold his arms down, and fold the hood of the truck down. And there, we got Gears. And he can hold this guy fairly well. And there we have Gears with this giant gun. And, I suppose that works okay. Let's just get Flanker out of there. It's an awkward looking gun, but it's the only gun that Gears comes with. I do prefer him without a gun, because when I think of him, the characterization I'm most familiar with was in those very early Marvel comics where he teamed up with Spider-Man. And one comparison that I almost forgot to do, we got the comparison with the G1 figure and with Swerve. Here is Make Toys. Make Toys version of Swerve. Or Gears, rather. You see, I'm calling him Swerve for crying out loud. Make Toys Cogwheel, which was their version of Swerve. And again, this version of Gears was a repaint, retool of their Swerve. However, he got a new chest piece in addition to a new head, and he had a choice of two different heads, one that resembles the original toy and the one that resembles the card art. So this one, just because, all it really took was a new chest piece to have that yellow thing with the pointy red thing, and it does such a better job of capturing what Gears is supposed to look like, even though the general body here is very clearly also supposed to be Swerve. All it took was just that little bit of work on his chest, and we have something that looks like, that much more resembles Gears, more closely resembles what Gears should look like. So that's just something that makes this figure just disappointing and aggravating. And let's face it, Gears is not a major character. There's going to be plenty of people who just don't care about it. They're going to look at it and look at him on the pegs and see him as a repaint the same way they see Nemesis Prime or Acid Storm as a repaint. But Gears is always going to be a character that I have a lot of affection for. So I want a really good modern Gears figure. And this one is not it. The Make Toys figure I feel like is a little bit closer, but it's still missing the mark in some ways. This will probably be the last retail level Gears we see for a long time. I mean, how many Gears figures have we got out of Hasbro or Takara? I mean, there was the movie one a couple years ago, but let's not discuss that thing. So this may be it. And instead of a true blue Gears, what we got was a red and blue Swerve with bronze head. So that's where we are. So maybe I'm being a little bit hard on this thing. I don't feel like I am, though. I'm pretty disappointed in him. I'm happy to have another Gears in my shelf, but this just misses the mark in so many ways. So let us know what you think. Do you think this serves as Gears, or are you on the same page as me and you think this is just a lazy attempt at creating a Gears by painting Swerve blue and red? Let us know what you think. Leave a comment below. Comment on our message boards. Subscribe to Foosh here on YouTube. And thank you once again for tuning in. We will see you real soon.